What's going on, everybody? I know I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but I thought, with them finally announcing what's next for Destiny 2, I thought I'd go ahead and read it with y'all and give my thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and go through it. So I guess this is Codename Frontiers, which I think I've seen a lot of people speculating, and I'll speculate too that we're going to start leaving the galaxy, probably go check out tooo and everything like that. But let's see. So this was posted an hour ago. It says, paving the way for new frontiers. Today marks the 10-year anniversary of Destiny 2. That's crazy. 10 years, man. Oh, of Destiny, not just Destiny 2. I think we're at 7 years on Destiny 2. We set out in 2014 to do something new and different for our studio. We've conquered the Witness, looted dungeons, ascended to the lighthouse, and more. Now we look to the future. We're plotting our course to the stars through Codename Frontiers. That really does sound like we're leaving the galaxy. We closed the door with Final Shape, but we are opening a new one, a weird one, an exciting one that takes Destiny to places it has never been before. We're building this future now and are excited to share with you a first glimpse of it today. So let's see. Codename Frontiers, expansion, Codename Apollo, summer 2025, major update, Codename Arsenal with a reward pass. Fall, major update, Codename Surge. So I think the thing they were saying, everything's free and then you get the 2 mini expansions a year. So the first one is in summer and that's Apollo. And then the other one is in winter and that's Behemoth. No code name for anything in Behemoth yet. You get winter and then spring 2026. Season available to all players. Yeah, there you go. Season available to all players. Expansion. New stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, new gear, new raids, and dungeons. So we are still getting raids and dungeons. Seasonal update. New and reprised activities, new gear and artifact mods, new modifiers and challenges, new sandbox meta, new events, reward pass, exotic mission and ornaments, legendary weapon and armor ornaments, gear upgrade, resources, cosmetics, and more. So, oh, okay, no. I was thinking the exotic weapon was like a exotic quest, but I'm guessing that's just like normal, where if you buy the season pass, you get it on level 1 or whatever. That sounds good. I'm hoping with the reprised activities that we see some of the old raids come back. I really want Scourge of the Past back. That was my favorite raid ever. This roadmap lays out our plan for year 11 and beyond, with some exciting changes to our annual model. 2 expansions per year. I mean, they struggle to deliver 1 expansion, so these things are either going to be super small or they're going to start getting pushed back pretty fast. 4 major updates of free content every year. That's pretty bold. Again, they keep pushing everything back, so we'll have to see how that actually plays out. Over the next few months, we will be sharing more info. I mean, maybe that's not the case anymore, since they're not trying to work on 6 other things or whatever that's not Destiny. Maybe that they got punished pretty hard for that. Maybe they've learned. We will be sharing more info with you on Codename Frontiers, which is how we are describing major innovations coming to Destiny over the next few years, starting with our new expansion, Codename Apollo. We have several dev insight deep dives going live today, and will continue to add more to the list over the weeks and months to come. Today we also have Tyson Green, game director, and Allison Lures, the Destiny 2 narrative director, diving through some of our future plans for Destiny 2. Our goal is to be more transparent in our communications with you. This is like the 5th time they've said they're going to be more transparent, and then they do good for a little bit and then they fall off. This means sharing our work more frequently, even if you see our mistakes and false starts along the way. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we get deeper into development. Ultimately, this is your game too. We want you to see more of how it is made and why. If you take nothing else away, it should be this: we're excited for Destiny to change and improve in ways that allow it to keep evolving in the future. Oh, okay, Dev Insight Deep Dives. Here we go. Below you will find a list of Dev Insight Deep Dives for various innovations coming with Codename Frontiers. We'll be building upon this section over the next few months with breakdowns of features and changes coming to Destiny 2. core activities, core rewards, and the portal. That's portal, I'm guessing. I'm just going to take a guess and say the portal is going to be what they are using to say that we're going to be able to leave the galaxy. That's probably going to be what it's called. Rewards and activities, that's interesting. I feel like they're making more changes to the core games, which I said it before, it's going to be kind of funny if they keep updating Onslaught and then Onslaught replaces Gambit. This looks like, what's his name? George from Halo Reach. Look at that helmet and the nice visor. And then you got the Titan Hunter. Looks like a Warlock there. This is cool. That's very nice artwork. If there's anything Bungie does good, it's their art. Our vision for the future of Destiny 2. Oh, look at that spaceship there too. That looks like the silver spaceship from the prequel Star Wars. And then you got the UNSC frigate right there. Tyson Green. My name is Tyson and I'm the game director for Destiny 2. Excited to speak today about our team's vision for Destiny. First and foremost, we all still love Destiny. Of course, it's a unique and challenging game both for you and us. I've personally been working on Destiny for 15 years and it still excites me creatively. There are not many games I could say that about. But at the same time, we recognize that it has become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Yeah, that's because you guys delete all the campaigns. Seasons and episodes keep getting bigger, but can still feel like you're just going through the motions. I guess that's not fair, right? We still have the Witch Queen campaign, but who's going back and playing that? It was an incredible campaign, but I don't know. We believe it's time for Destiny to change and evolve, and that our community wants this game to grow and innovate too. And to do that, we need to start breaking some of the molds. Keep in mind, by the way, I just want to post this. I'm reading this. I still haven't finished the Final Shape campaign, and we're in September. This thing's been out for 2 months. I think I'm on the final mission right now. I keep dying at the final mission. So I just need to wrap. Oh, wait, no, that's right. I did finish the final mission. Now I have to do the Grandmaster or whatever, Excision. That's all I have left. So I guess now I did finish the campaign. Annual expansions. So we're going to start with annual expansions for what they're changing. We've loved creating annual expansions and are especially proud of the Final Shape. Final Shape, Witch Queen, and what was the first expansion of D2 called? Why am I forgetting that? I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, those 3 expansions were like the best ones ever. Oh man, I'm all stuffy right now. We've loved creating annual expansions and are especially proud of Final Shape, but the truth is that they dominate almost all of our development efforts. Yeah, because they're big. We need to free ourselves up to explore and innovate with how we deliver Destiny 2 content so we can invest in areas of the game that will feel more impactful to players. Starting next year, instead of 1 big expansion, we're going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions, 1 every 6 months. Each of these will depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using essentially unchanged since Shadowkeep. And I'm sorry that I'm so stuffed up. And each will be an opportunity to explore exciting new formats instead. We are excited to try new things that challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. We're actively prototyping non-linear campaigns, exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or Metroidvanias, and even more unusual formats like roguelikes or survival shooters. Each expansion will present a new opportunity to try something different. So it sounds like when I read this right off the bat, we're going to go stray away from the idea that you're the main guardian doing all the work, and it's going to start adventuring into the idea that everybody's exploring and different people are going to be doing different things rather than you're the main character. I think they're straying away from the idea that you're the main character of the campaign. If they're going to take on things like roguelikes and survival shooters, I have a feeling that it's just going to be like all these guardians are going out exploring rather than it being you, the main guardian, making all this headway, if that makes sense. Departing from one-shot campaigns doesn't mean we are turning away from the great storytelling. Going forward, we want to return the mystery and wonder that was woven into the fabric of early Destiny. when the story felt ripe with possibilities and an epic sense of exploration and discovery. Great stories are as important as ever in our creative vision, and Allison will touch more on that below. Well, not just in a story too, you gotta have that in like finding activities that nobody's ever seen before, which is hard, you know, with YouTube and all that, but still, it's exciting to do that. Season. With the change to 2 expansions per year, our seasonal model will be changing as well. Didn't they just change it this year and they're already changing it again? Instead of 3 episodes, we'll be building 4 major updates per year, 1 every 3 months. So it's still the same cadence. Each expansion will launch alongside a major update at the start of a season, and then a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including strikes, exotic missions, or new modes like Onslaught. I really was hoping, when I saw the name Onslaught, I was hoping that said or entirely new updates for Onslaught. Rewards, weapons, armor, artifacts, exotics, and more. That's unfortunate that activities doesn't include reprised raids. New weekly events, new features, combat meta, and balance updates. So what they're saying is we're gonna have to wait 6 months for updates to the Crucible. It seems like combat meta and balance updates happen 6 months instead of every 3 months, because right here they're saying then a second major update. So every expansion comes out, and when they come out you get 1 major update, and then the second major update comes out. Unless, like, the way they're wording this is kind of weird. It seems like when I read it that they're saying you're just going to get this big update, and then this second update is going to have all this stuff. But maybe they're saying both of these major updates will include this. I'm hoping that's the case, but right now when I read it, I just read it like this first major update is going to be focused on the new expansion, and then the second update is going to be focused on this. So we'll see if they say anything on that. The big seasonal resets will still happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansion. Big seasonal resets. That's good. That gives you more time to complete your season pass. I will say though, I feel like it's such a huge slap in the face that if you don't collect all your gear and stuff from that season, then you should be able to complete those season passes at any point in time and see all your previous season passes. Each update will be a substantial refresh of the core game, bringing new activities and reward content. We are also excited to announce that, like Destiny 2 Into the Light, these updates and their content will be free to all players. We want Destiny to be easier for anyone to play or recommend, so we want to remove that major barrier to the experience, which means we need to talk about the core game itself. The core game. The core game is Destiny's always available evergreen activity experience. That was tough to read for some reason. And we need to fix 2 key things with it. Approachability, yes, that's very important. First, Destiny is too complex with literally hundreds of activities. Do they actually have hundreds of activities? I guess if you count all the things that aren't in the game, sure. You practically need a PhD to decide what to play and how to get rewards you're looking for. We're going to start to fix this by modernizing our UI. The director.
Experience.
What?
UI user.
Yeah, I know what UI is. Thank you. To make it easier for everyone to find and launch into great activities. And we're reworking our reward model to make sure that all of those activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dive on activities and rewards go into more detail on these changes in particular. So they're already updating. Didn't they just do a big update on the UI and they're already doing it again? The director seems good. I think from what I've seen from the people who talk about this stuff, I think the biggest issue is like if you're a free-to-play player, you open up the game and then you get hit with 20 instant pop-ups that say, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. You know, and I think that's one of the issues there. Gear and challenge should matter. Absolutely. Look, I'm sorry if it sounds elitist, but if you are doing hard content, you should get good. You should be compensated for it. And I want a Destiny 3, by the way. but I don't want to lose all my stuff. I love using my weapons. I understand people are like, hey, why do that? You know, I want to have to use different weapons and blah blah blah. At the end of the day, I understand if you are incapable of using anything except for the best weapons. You guys see me do solo flawless dungeons all the time with Heir Apparent. It's probably the worst weapon to use. I use it because it's fun. I use weapons I want to use, and I mix up my own loadouts. So I don't have that issue of like, oh, I don't ever have any fun weapons to use because I'm constantly using different loadouts and challenging myself. And I don't think I should be punished and have to lose all my weapons because somebody else can't just switch their weapons around. It's kind of ridiculous. Tangent, let's continue. The next multi-year saga starts with Codename Apollo. Look at this image, bro. This really looks like we're going somewhere different. Although this ship right here makes me think that this is Cosmodrome, even though it's 100% not Cosmodrome. Allison Lurs. Hi, I'm Allison. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if not. I think that's German, right? And I'm the Destiny 2 narrative director. I'm a fresh face at Bungie, started doing narrative direction for seasons in fall 2022. So what is that? Witch Queen? And my first D2 expansion was the Final Shape. Okay, so it was like, what, right after Witch Queen dropped? We're proud of the Final Shape and the ending we created for the Light and Darkness saga, and we knew that the episodes that follow would act as an epilogue, tying up Light and Darkness's hanging threads, but also setting us up for what's next. The episodes close doors and open new ones, purposeful ones. Storylines that are set in place to prepare us for what's coming next. And what is next in our saga is our new saga. I want to take a second. I want to say a couple things. So as I said, I haven't completed Excision yet, so I haven't technically completed the campaign yet. I hear that I've relatively stayed free of the spoilers. I haven't done the new raid yet. I know the final boss is the Witness. I don't know what the weapon is, the exotic weapon is. I haven't completed Excision yet. Only lore thing I know is that there is something that said that like the Witness and the Winnower are not the same, which is huge. Very good stuff. Seems like we're still gonna have darkness problems, which one of the worries for me is like, if the Witness is supposed to be the darkness, how do you top that? You don't top it. So by them separating that creates that opportunity for there to be enemies more dangerous than the Witness, which is good. Secondly, I believe our third episode this year is supposed to be Hive based. And I know Aztecross, I love Aztecross, so I'm not trying to call him out or anything. I know he said that he feels like it's going to be focused on Xivu. I do not want it to focus on Xivu. I do not want to kill Xivu. I look at Oryx and I look at Savathun, and each of them have had their own expansions. And Xivu has had a lot of playtime lately, and she's getting a lot more involved in the stories. She deserves an expansion, just like the other two, and I want her to have an expansion focused on her. Hell, let her become a good guy. She's not going to. We're 100% gonna have to fight her at some point. Maybe she'll be a neutral character like Savathun. You know how Savathun tricks us and helps us out here and there. Maybe Xivu will decide not to try and kill us and instead just use us to power herself up constantly and kind of thing. It'd be cool. We'll see what happens, but I don't want her story ended in an episode. So that's just saying that. And then I like the Baron dude from Forsaken. That's the name of the stupid expansion I couldn't remember of. That's the third expansion. All three of those were the best. But I love the Baron that he created that was in the Tangled Shore that had the strike and you keep killing him over and over again. I like him. I kind of want to see him have some personal growth and get more, but that feels like a storyline they're actually going to wrap up this episode. So I'm guessing they probably wrap up his story in the next episode that's about to happen, and then the other two, the Hive and this Vex one, are probably going to be leading into what's next. I don't know. I don't like when stories end, to be honest. I love the stories. I want them to keep going, but then you get into the point where you just drag everything on longer than it needs to be. And I am monologuing, so let's keep going. What is next is our new saga. I already read that. Amazing artwork, bro. You'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes and then fully kick off with Codename Apollo. This next saga is also based around a core theme, much like Light and Darkness did. It will introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. There's a lot more here we will say eventually, but we don't want to spoil the journey for you. This will be a multi-year journey, one we can't wait to take you on. Our first expansion, Codename Apollo, is a non-linear character-driven adventure. Okay. What do we mean by Codename Apollo is non-linear? Previously, in stories like The Final Shape, you experienced the story as ABC to D in a nice straight line. Makes sense. In Codename Apollo, our story takes place over dozens of threads you'll explore and discover. So when you land on our brand new location, the story starts at A, and then you can choose if you want to explore C first or try to get into B or maybe investigate D. And the options you didn't choose, don't worry, those options are still open for you to go back and play through. You'll need to. Because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses. So experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way the story always makes sense and flows from beginning to middle to end. There's no time gating, no waiting for the next drop. Codename Apollo's story unfolds based on player progression. So, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember seeing them anywhere else. Adventures. I remember them in the base game, and I recently saw them here in Final Shape. I'm sure that they're in every expansion, and then just since I don't spend much time these days on the free roam, they're probably still there. But I feel like that's saying we're just going to start switching the campaign to kind of like adventures. So for those of y'all who aren't familiar with what I'm saying, if you go on the destinations, or at least EDZ and the Traveler destination, you'll see like holes in the ground with an orange flag, and then you walk up to it and it'll have like a little adventure tag, and it's like a little mini mission. That's what this sounds like it's going to be. Like, you just explore the open world that they provide you, and you can click on this area and do this mission. You can click on that area, do that mission, and then you just kind of fill it in, you know? Based on how if I'm being honest, I'm expecting, based on how they've done previous things, and this isn't a dig at me, this isn't a dig, but it sounds like it's probably going to be one of those things where even if you're completing one mission, like say, all right, we'll take the A, B, C, D that they do. Let's say you do A, and then you go do C. And then after you do C, you go and do B. I'm guessing that it's just going to be focused solely on you doing that mission B rather than acknowledging that you've already done C, right? It'll just be like, okay, this is B, you do this, you do that, blah, blah, blah. And then you go on to the next mission, and then you go on to D, and it's just focused on D. If you get what I'm saying, like, instead of it being like, oh, hey, it's you again, I'm glad you helped out with mission C, and now you're here to help me out on mission B, you know? There's a chance, small gripe, small thing, it's just my assumptions. Again, I'm monologuing, let's keep going. Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. The shift to non-linear stories isn't something we're locking ourselves into, but it is the structure that fits Codename Apollo best. Narrative structure of the releases that follow will be quite different. A structure that's to suit that game's experience. So essentially they're just going to change, they're saying they're changing everything every year. And we want to continue to innovate with every expansion across both gameplay and narrative. Into the unknown, here it is. This all sounds like a big change, and it is, because when the rhythm of our story becomes predictable, or when characters and our world fail to change, that's how we create a situation, not a story. So how can we innovate? By telling a story that keeps up with our innovation, not one that slows down. That means an evolving world, giving space for new characters, growing and evolving factions, making sure the story we tell is in a world we have nurtured and with characters who grow in turn. We believe in rewarding the player for paying attention without punishing someone for not knowing something. That way, everyone gets to come along for the ride no matter how deep in the lore they are. You'll see that approach starting with episodes and continue into the new multi-year story. So when we think about a multi-year arc, what does that look like? Think of it as a constellation of stories united by a single theme. We will show you what that theme is later, but suffice to say, we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not a line. Each release fits into the larger saga. We can't wait to take you on that journey. Story is easy to spoil, so I won't ruin the details for what's the theme in Codename Apollo is or what it's about, but I'll give you something to look forward to. Apollo ends with a narrative gasoline that will propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, goal, and a destination that won't come at you as a straight line, but will be well worth the trip. It'll reward you, it'll surprise you, and it'll take us places Destiny has never seen before. See you when the time is right. So that was a lot of reading. Let's break that down a little bit. So they're saying that over the years it's gone stale. You know, it's the same thing, right? You've got the story, and then you've got the same ending that leads into the next thing, yada, yada, yada. It has been the same, and so they're saying they're trying to break away from that. That's good. They're saying rather than it being like final shape leads into the instead of saying Lightfall leads into final shape, it looks like they're saying, you know, this first name Apollo could be here on the storyline, and then at the same time like Behemoth could be happening or something, which kind of seems rough because every time they've done the story, I'm sure there's not going to ever be two expansions that are happening at the same time, but that does mean they're opening up the possibility of time travel, which means probably going to have some Vex things involved. You know, it might be a Vex themed saga, and we might be going back into the past and dealing with things in the Light and Darkness saga again, or dealing with things that happened at the same time as Codename Apollo. You know, these are all potential things, is I think what they're trying to hint at. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be Vex seasoned, because they have introduced multiple things, and it's kind of tough to say, hey, we're going to have the next 3, 4, 7, 10 years focused on Vex, you know? That's kind of rough, unless they really hype those Vex up. And then they're just trying to build some excitement for Apollo, saying that it's going to have a big ending. They've done that very well lately. You know, Witch Queen had the cool ending. Final Lightfall was kind of a drop, but Final Shape was good, you know. So that's exciting. And their seasons have had good endings too. So they've had good season endings. And with that, we come to a close. Well, a new beginning, really. Over the next few months, we'll be dishing out more deep dives and engaging in more conversation. We have no doubts that the above breakdown of Codename Frontiers plans will spawn far more questions than we can answer. But we're looking to keep you up to date as we take flight. Keep an eye on Deep Dive section, as we'll be adding links to further topics. Thank you again for joining us on the first 10-year journey into Destiny. We've been through so much, battling the darkness and stopping the witness. Now it's time to look to the stars again. It's time to imagine, to dream big, and explore what our futures can be within this universe. We have our heading and hope to see you join us along the way. Alright. Great story. I've been monologuing a lot here. I want to wrap it up and say, I love Destiny. I know y'all haven't been seeing a lot of Destiny content from me. I've been frustrated with the game. As somebody who loves Destiny so much, I come and go with the game, and unfortunately, as I said, I don't really have many people to play with anymore on Destiny 2, and because of that, it's just not as fun anymore. But then I fall off the game for a little bit, and then I see some stints, you know, I see some things that happen, and it gets me excited. I love the gameplay. Bungie makes a very good game. The story, I love these characters. These characters have been a part of my life for 7 to 10 years. I'm invested in the story. I'm invested in the characters. So no matter how frustrating Bungie is, or how they handle things, or how tedious the story is, or how frustrated I get with the fact that their drop rates are garbage and my frustrations with that, I still love the game and I keep coming back to it. I'm gonna keep playing Destiny. So y'all are gonna see some more Destiny content from me. I'm excited to see where we go next. I'm excited to see these new destinations. There's so many story bits that you can just think of off the top of your head. Seeing the Elixni homeworld, seeing tooo, reclaiming that from the Hive, seeing that one darkness entity, the Whisperer, whatever, that Mithrax was talking about, exploring the Chicago ruins, which is the lore piece on the Graviton Lance, and the Hive that are super evil or scary there, assuming it is Hive. Xivu Arath, seeing any new seeing, what was it, that one proto Hive that kept running away from the three siblings, Xivu, Savathun, and Oryx, that they were chasing. We have that storyline. We've got the other Iron Lord, not Saladin, but the girl who lives on the human settlement that's by Pluto or whatever. You know, there are so many stories and things. I'm sure you've got more with Last Word, dude. You know, it seemed like he was doing some stuff with the Dredgens. Speaking of Dredgens, you've got my favorite character, the Drifter. You've got his storyline. And something I was thinking about when I was completing the story is when they had that lore book about all the evil guardians and darkness taking over, that didn't necessarily have to happen during the Light and Darkness saga. There is still potential, since Savathun is alive, there's still potential for that to happen. You know? So there's so many little stories, so many plot points that they have, and I want to be invested for it. I want to see all these things play out. I'm excited. I love the story of Destiny. But that's enough for me. I'm talking way too much. If y'all enjoyed, hit that like button. Please drop a comment. Let me know what you think about Destiny, what you think about the story. I hope I can see y'all in the next one.